everybody. In today's episode, we'll be looking at one of the most competent SUV in the world. This is the 200 series Land Cruiser. Now the Land Cruiser has grown in size, and from a pure off-road utility vehicle, it has evolved into luxury vehicle without losing its serious off-roading ability. It has established its place not only in our country, but entire Middle East, Africa, many other Asian countries, up to some extent in America, and the biggest Australia. And most importantly, UN won't be doing any of their project without a Land Cruiser. Now let's take a closer look at this luxury monster and see what it's all about.
The Toyota Land Cruiser, Toyota's answer to the Willys Jeep and Land Rover. It has a presence all over the world in all walks of life. It is the vehicle of choice for the school run or the grocery run for the suburban moms in the Western world. And in contrast to that, it is the vehicle of choice for the rich and powerful here. In many cases, it is considered the best way to bolster fragile egos if you have the money. It is a very capable machine both on-road and off-it. But usually the clientele that buy this kind of a vehicle here, it is mostly a road warrior with no off-road driving whatsoever. It has commanding looks with big grille up front that warns the peasants on the road to get out of the way. It has more chrome than can be considered decent, and those who like to add on chrome end up adding more chrome. With build quality that is second to none and bulletproof reliability, it is the vehicle of choice for many, or rather a few who can afford it. Over the years, it has gotten fatter with more rounded lines, and the 2012 ZX is no exception. The older ones, especially up till the 80s, I'm talking about the 60 series, had a more utilitarian and purpose-built look, but now it is largely about the luxuries as well. The inside is palatial with more room than most small houses. And you can see that more than a few cows had to give their lives to cover the inside of things with all this leather. It has more car tech than what most of the people who buy this will ever understand, much less need. So if you are an enthusiast and like to take this thing off-road, all power to you, go for it. If you have money and want to show off, you can't do better than this. If you want to show your status and power you hold in the community, being in the right power circles, get a black one.
Now let us check out the interior. It is equipped with Toyota Intelligent Access System. You can lock and unlock the car through this button in the remote, or you need to have this fob in your pocket. Come near to the vehicle. Press this button to lock it and reach behind the handle to unlock it. It has liberal use of soft touch materials for most of the occupant touch points to give it a premium look, and the silver accented and wooden trim gives it very graceful looks. It has bin and cubbies in the doors. All four windows are fully automatic. And this chrome door handle looks really very nice. It has black leather interior, and these seats have perforated material in the middle. These seats are fully electrically controlled through these buttons. These can be moved forward or backward. It also has height adjustment and lower lumbar support. Most importantly, it has height adjustment for your legs, which is a very important feature. Plus, these seats are heated and cooled as well. For heated, it uses heater elements in the seat, and for cooling it uses blowers that sucks the air through the seats so that can cool your body. It has many other features. It has fully automatic retractable side mirrors, parking sensors, traction control. It has heated steering as well. You can disable the side curtain airbags in case of rollover. However, side collision is still active. Central differential unlock, It has this very good looking 4-spoke steering wheel with some sort of a Japanese wood up top and down below. And the steering is heated as well, as I mentioned earlier. It has sensible amount of controls in the steering wheel. For example, on the left hand side you can see it has multimedia control, and on the right hand side it has telephonic control, voice command, and you can change the display in the multi-information display screen in the instrument cluster. It has cruise control as well, and it has automatic wipers and automatic headlamps. Moving on to the instrument cluster, let us start up the engine. It has this instrument cluster with two big dials with speedometer on the right and tachometer on the left. The tachometer has oil pressure gauge, as you can see, and the speedo cluster has voltage. In the middle you can see there is an information screen with coolant temperature on the left top and fuel gauge on the right top. In the middle there is a driver information screen in which you can see multiple information. For example, fuel economy, average fuel economy. This is the gauge through which you can see your instantaneous fuel economy in graphical form. And this is the driving range within the available fuel. We are low on fuel. You can see the speed in digital form as well in the middle. This is the average speed you have been driving with. And this is one of the most important information in which you can see the direction of the wheels, and it is really very useful during off-roading. As you can see, it really helps you during off-roading. And you can turn the display off or on according to your choice, and that's it. Then down below you can see the position of gear selector and height of your vehicle. It has height control as well, which we will see later on. Moving on to the middle part, it has this little information screen up top on the dashboard, which shows you time, inside temperature, outside temperature. For example, if you switch on the climate control, it will show you the temperature set for either side. Then there is the infotainment system. I'm not going into much detail of because it will take a long time. It has lots of features, but we will see the most important one. You can control the climate through these buttons over here and set the temperature from here, or you can move on to the infotainment screen through this button, and you can switch on the air conditioning. You can control the 4-zone temperature from here. It has the feature of auto parking as well. If you put it in reverse gear, and you can select a location for parking. Hazards, then CD changer, push button ignition system, and 4-wheel drive selector switch. H4 is for high speed and L4 is for low speed. Simple. It has this ashtray, a lighter socket, a 12-volt power outlet, USB and aux port, shift lever. It's Tiptronic. You can shift between the 6 gears manually through this plus minus. Heated and cool seat, as I explained earlier. ECT, electronically controlled transmission, in which where you need lot of traction and you do not need the speed, you can start the vehicle through 2nd gear and it will eliminate in the instrument cluster. Then it has adaptive suspension. You can keep it normal or you can take it to comfy mode, or you can take it to sports mode. That's my favorite, and the vehicle drives very well in the sports mode. Then it has most interesting height control. I always keep it in the lower position. Then this is the crawl control function. It has this turn assist as well. We will see the details of this later on. And it has these two cup holders for the front passenger and the driver. And then this big size glove box which have leather material on top. You can store something over here, or it has this cool box as well, which can be operated through this button. You can keep your fruits or anything else, drinks cool in this area. Sensible amount of storage. There are two compartments in the glove box, and wooden trim material. Auto dimming rear view mirror. It has this sunglasses storage. It's padded as well. Then it has this spotlight, settings for the door, and it has this sunroof which tilts. And it opens as well. It's automatic. You just need to press the button and it will open automatically. Very nice feature. SOS. Vanity mirrors. It is illuminated as well. Looking at the passenger side, it has same amount of adjustments for the passenger side as well, but it does not have lower lumbar support. It has height adjustment for the passenger side as well.
Now let's jump in the SUV and watch out the second and third row scene.
It's really easy to jump in and jump out of this car, and let us see the second row seats. These second row seats have been designed to accommodate 3 people in comfort. It has lots of leg room and lots of headroom, so a taller person will find it very comfortable sitting here. These rear seats does offer some versatility. They can be moved forward or backward through this electric button, and they also have recline adjustment, so you can find yourself a comfortable seating position. Plus, if you are sitting 2 people in the back in the second row seats, then you have this armrest as well with 2 cup holders. It has this separate climate control for the rear passengers, and the good thing is that the rear seats are also heated as well. And it has air conditioning vents for the rear passengers to maintain the temperature, and in the roof as well. Then it has this infotainment screen for the rear passengers, and if you go for newer model, they have 2 separate screens at the back of front seats to provide a welcoming environment inside, whatever the environment outside might be like. The rear floor is completely flat, and it has this perforated leather in the middle. Now let's jump into the rear seats and see how is the environment over there. The only way to get to the rear seats is to pull this lever and fold this seat. Then there is a nice step over here. Place your foot. And this is how you get to the rear seats. So speaking about the third row seats, there is modest amount of legroom and sufficient amount of headroom. There are 3 seat belts, and these seats can also accommodate 3 people in comfort. There are air conditioning vents for the rear passengers. There are 2 cup holders on either side, and overall it is a very welcoming environment inside. You can have a clear view of the infotainment system in front of you. So I would have to say that it is very comfortable back here. Now let us check out the trunk space.
Looking at the trunk space, as you can see, these third row seats can't stow in the floor. Instead, they swing off to the sides when not in use. And these seats actually narrow down the cargo area. However, this storage can always be extended by folding down the second row seats and if they are not in use. And this is how you can fit in bulkier objects, which is normally a practice that people do not follow here with the Land Cruiser. When third row seats are in use, the cargo capacity is limited. So basically, if you are traveling over a long distance or maybe you are planning a camping trip, the boot space is limited for your bags and suitcases. But usually the third row seats come into play occasionally, and whereas I have noticed most cruisers have it folded up out of the way, or I have also noticed some people have removed them completely.
Some secret storages in the trunk space. And the toolbox.
Let us see what is under the hood. Under the hood, Land Cruiser comes up with this 4.6 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that kicks out 314 horsepower at 5500 rpm and 460 Newton meters of torque at 3400 rpm. It has aluminum alloy cylinder block and it comes up with 4 valves per cylinder, so it has 32 valves in total. And it has twin cams for each cylinder bank. This V8 has 10.2 to 1 ratio compression ratio, and it comes up with Toyota's dual VVTi system for both intake and exhaust camshafts. It uses ETCSI electronic throttle control system intelligent, and it has the acoustic control induction system for air intake, and it has direct ignition system with long life iridium tipped spark plugs. The exhaust system consists of 4x1 stainless steel headers and exhaust pipes and stainless steel catalytic converters for both cylinder banks for control of emissions, and it comes up with water-cooled exhaust gas recirculation system and air injection system for faster warm-up of catalytic converters. It comes up with 6-speed automatic gearbox which is really smooth at shifting gears, and you can simulate between 6 gears manually. Toyota claims fuel consumption of 7.1 kilometers per liter, whereas in our hands we have observed 5 to 6 kilometers per liter within the city use and up to maximum of 8 kilometers per liter on a highway run, which is not impressive at all.
Now let us fire up the engine. For that you need to put your foot on the brake, and when this light illuminates in green, push this engine start stop button. Okay, so now let's take this thing for a test drive and let us see how does it drive like. The steering wheel has tilt and telescopic adjustment that can be done electrically through this button. As I mentioned earlier, the driver's seat has plenty of adjustments. So with a little bit of fine adjustments, it is easy to find a comfy driving position.
It has memory for seats and steering for 3 different drivers, and when you switch it off, the steering wheel goes in full upward position so that you can easily jump in or jump out of the car. When you switch it on, it comes to its preset position.
Even with the driving seat in fully lowered position, which is actually my ideal seating position, all around visibility is very good. These rear view side mirrors provide a clear view of what is happening behind you, and it is really easy to get used to the dimensions of this car. Now we come to the handling part. The power assisted rack and pinion type steering wheel is light and very accurate, although steering feel is never lively in SUVs. And keeping in view its 2.7 tons of weight, the Land Cruiser handles very well and it is really easy to maneuver. If you are driving it in small streets, you have to take care of it because of its big dimensions. You don't want to scratch your car. Okay, so now coming back to the handling part, I would say that the Land Cruiser is very stable as it is equipped with kinetic dynamic suspension system that gives confidence under extreme driving circumstances, and that is done by giving it better suspension articulation to ensure traction, and KDSS is compatible for both on-road and off-road driving conditions. With KDSS, the SUV feels little firm and it is a great system for off-road comfort and handling both. One observation is that when you drive it with 8 people on board and you're driving it on an unpaved road, the soft suspension actually lowers the SUV, thus reducing the ground clearance a bit, and you will notice it touching the ground in some areas, or at least the bumpers. I would have to say that the ride is very much refined and it is virtually silent. You can drive the Land Cruiser effortlessly for long distances. Wow, what a great thing Toyota has made. It is rugged, it is comfortable, the cabin is very quiet. That makes it extremely great off-roading machine. Okay, coming to the engine section, it has this powerful V8 engine that is capable to tackle with motorways and any kind of challenging terrain. It is very quiet, it is powerful, but one thing which I do not like is, or many of you won't like, is that is the fuel economy. I am driving this thing for more than a month now and I am able to achieve maximum 6 kilometers per liter within the city use, and on motorway run I have noticed 8 kilometers per liter, which is not impressive. But anyone buying this car or any other car within this price segment should not be bothered about the fuel. I have noticed many people prefer Range Rover over Land Cruiser. Although Range Rover is a bit smaller in size, little bit handy and a very capable machine, but if you ask my personal choice, I will always prefer Land Cruiser over Range Rover, and the main reason is reliability. When it comes to Toyota, there is no question about reliability, so I would always prefer Land Cruiser. This V8 up front is so smooth and it is so quiet. I want to listen to this V8, but the cabin insulation is so good and it is so quiet. Let's push it. Wow, it sounds lovely. Once again. And 140. This Eco Driver indicator helps the driver to adopt a driving style that is more fuel efficient. So this Eco indicator is also very useful. Now we will be looking at some of the most interesting feature of this Land Cruiser for off-roading, and that is crawl control. With crawl function, the vehicle actually drives sort of automatically at a given speed that you have set, and you can call this feature as low speed cruise control, and this feature is offered as standard on 200 series Land Cruiser. Now we will see how the crawl control function works and how you can engage it. Now we will see that how can you use the crawl control feature. For crawl control, first of all, the engine should be running, or at least the ignition switch should be on, and then you have to move this four-wheel drive selector switch to L4 mode. Now in order to move this four-wheel drive selector switch to L4 mode, the vehicle must be in neutral. So let's take the gear lever to neutral. Now press this four-wheel drive selector switch and move it clockwise, and wait till the system is activated. You can see the light is illuminated in the instrument cluster, and that means that it is activated now. And the gear lever must be in D or R. Let me move it to D. Now you can activate the crawl control through press of this button, and you can see that it is activated now. And through this rotary knob, you can set the speed between low, medium and high according to the terrain. So once you have set the speed, release the brake pedal, and the vehicle will start climbing the rock automatically, or if it is going down the hill, it will apply brakes automatically. So the main purpose is that the driver can stay focused on the steering wheel only. Another interesting feature is turn assist, which is really very helpful in tight turns while off-roading. And how to activate the turn assist: first of all, the crawl control must be activated, then you need to press this button, and you can see a light illuminated in the instrument cluster. What it does is that it locks one of the rear wheel by applying brake pressure to assist the vehicle turn very quickly. So it is a very useful feature while off-roading. Another interesting feature, it is also equipped with multi-terrain select mode that actually assists drivability during off-roading conditions, and it is a very helpful feature that enables the vehicle to tackle the most challenging terrain. And you can, whatever kind of terrain you are driving on, you can choose between, and it will assist your drivability.
Land Cruiser comes up with independent double wishbone coil spring suspension up front and a rigid live axle 4-link coil suspension in the rear along with gas dampers. It is also equipped with adaptive air suspension that allows you to adjust the height, and you can also adjust the damper rate according to the given driving condition. It has hydraulic power assisted rack and pinion type steering that has curb to curb turning circle of 11.8 meters. The Land Cruiser's full-time all-wheel drive system is considered as an active safety feature. Other safety features include vehicle stability control, active traction control, hill start assist control, multi-terrain anti-lock braking system. The ZX version of Land Cruiser comes up with these very good looking 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels wrapped with 285 by 50 by R20 tires. It has 13.4-inch ventilated discs and 4 piston fixed calipers up front and 13.6 inches ventilated rotors and single piston floating caliper in the rear. This setup brings a vehicle to a complete stop from a speed of 70 miles per hour in just 183 feet. Overall body length is 194.9 inches, width is 77.6 inches, height is 74 inches, whereas wheelbase is 112.2 inches. It has 30 degrees of approach angle and 20 degrees of departure angle. Total curb weight for this SUV is 2700 kg approximately. Now the adaptive suspension is in full high position, and this is the maximum height of vehicle. Now let me lower it down. Now this is the fully lowered position, and it looks so nice in lowered position, and it also has lowered center of gravity in this position.
So my friends, if you are looking for a full-size SUV for your family to accommodate 8 people in comfort, and you have to travel over long distances, or if you are a CEO or executive director of your company and you are looking for a luxurious SUV that is durable and there is no question about reliability, then Toyota Land Cruiser is the choice for you. With price ranging between 10 to 35 million rupees these days, it is not inexpensive. It is very expensive, and if you can afford to buy one, go for it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please leave a comment and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.